Welcome everyone to another edition of Willow's Weather Briefing. Today is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Today we have a slight risk of severe weather for southeastern New Mexico into the Central Rio Grande Valley. And we also have a slight risk of excessive rainfall for much of west central Texas due to multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms over here. A flash flooding threat is expected to continue across Texas and then migrate into areas of southern Oklahoma and eastern Arkansas by later this week. We also have heat continuing over here in the inner west, particularly in the inner northwest and down here in the southern basin. We could reach record temperatures once again here in the inner northwest, and of course the southern basin usually very hot, but still anomalously hot over here in the southern basin. Below average to near normal temperatures throughout the eastern U.S., with above average temperatures overspreading much of the west and northern central plains. We currently have a cold front moving through the eastern United States. You can kind of see it here on our satellite imagery. That is going to continue migrating off to the east, bringing cooler temperatures across these regions over here. We do have a lingering frontal boundary associated with the same air mass, but it is sort of stationary across portions of the southern U.S., bringing us our severe weather and flooding threat for the next few days. Here is our drought monitor map. The solid lines demarcate the areas of greatest concern with drought. Here is our current watches and warnings. Pretty quiet across the United States, besides some dense fog advisories, some flood watches, and even a severe thunderstorm warning here in southern Texas near the Rio Grande Valley. We do have excessive heat warnings for portions of eastern Washington and also the southern basin. Excessive heat watch also for these areas over here. But generally, pretty quiet across the United States today. Here is our forecast chart. As you can see, the reason why we are quiet for much of today is this high pressure that's sort of just lingering off into the central United States, but this frontal boundary will bring us some disturbed weather in certain portions of the U.S., such as rainfall throughout much of the East Coast, as well as a severe thunderstorm and flooding risk across western central Texas and also southeastern New Mexico over here. Day 2 tomorrow, we have a continuation of that flash flooding threat associated with an influx of moisture and this lingering boundary right here. Day 3, we have multiple conflicting air masses bringing us disturbed weather over here, still associated with that lingering boundary and influx of Gulf moisture into east central Texas, into southeastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas. We also have a boundary and disturbance moving into the northern U.S. by day 3, Thursday, bringing us a flash flooding threat for southern Minnesota. Here's our excessive rainfall forecast. Day 1, slight risk for much of west central Texas down towards the Rio Grande. We could see rainfall rates up to 3 inches per hour, bringing our totals at over 3 inches in some of these areas down here. And with the dry soils, heavy rainfall rates is not ideal because we could get patchy flash flooding because dry soils are generally hydrophobic and do not respond well to excessive rainfall rates. Day 2, slight risk across the Red River Valley down towards the Gulf Coast of Texas. This is primarily, again, towards that lingering boundary, and also the influx of Gulf moisture will bring us some trending thunderstorms and rainfall. Exact totals are pretty uncertain, given the sort of sporadic nature and unpredictable nature of these thunderstorms, but we still have a slight risk of excessive rainfall down there. And rinse and repeat again for the southern regime, influx of Gulf moisture and lingering boundary will bring us additional showers and thunderstorms, which will bring us another slight risk of flash flooding. More focused is this area right here in southern Minnesota. We do have a actual lingering boundary here, a stronger lingering boundary here, which will bring us some training showers and thunderstorms here. And we also have some upper level support associated with this system that is moving in on day 3 Thursday throughout the northern tier of the U.S. Day 4, another slight risk of excessive rainfall over the Arklatex region. Again, rinse and repeat mechanisms. A very now meager lingering boundary here and an influx of Gulf moisture will give us some showers and thunderstorms in this area. In day 5, broad marginal risk of excessive rainfall across these areas over here from Louisiana up towards Lake Erie. For a fire weather risk, we have an elevated fire weather risk for south central Washington into north central Oregon. And tomorrow's fire weather outlook, we have an expanded elevated risk for central to southern Washington into central and northern Oregon. We also have an elevated fire risk for much of the Central Basin over here in Nevada and Utah. No extended range fire weather outlook expected today, but we do have some dry thunderstorm, low RH wind threats for day 3 and day 4. Here's our convective outlook. Today, we have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms across southeastern New Mexico into the Central Rio Grande Valley. This includes cities like Del Rio, Texas, Fort Stockton, Pecos, Texas, Uvalde. We also have, this is mainly for a threat of large to giant hail, particularly in areas such as Carlsbad, New Mexico, Pecos, Texas, and Fort Stockton, Texas. But the rest of the risk area is mainly a damaging wind-driven risk. Day 2 outlook, marginal risks throughout the southern Texas region, as well as portions of the Corn Belt up here, and also portions of the northern plains into the Intermountain northern Rockies. Over here, this is primarily for wind and hail, tornado threat pretty low, generally across all these areas. Day 3, marginal risk throughout central Texas and up towards eastern Colorado, up towards the northern Mississippi River Valley. Moving on to our heat risks. Today, our main heat is focused with the inner western regions. Even though heat is starting to deplete in the inner northwest, such as central to eastern Washington and north central Oregon, towards eastern Oregon and western Idaho, we do expect still record temperatures today across some of these areas as temperatures soar into the hundreds degrees Fahrenheit, especially in areas such as southern Washington, south central Washington. But our biggest heat concern for today is going to be the southern basin regions. We could see temperatures reach up to 110 degrees for most of this region, and in the lower elevations such as Death Valley, temperatures could reach up to 120 degrees today. Over here, we have a patchy heat risk for far southern Texas as well. Tomorrow, heat depletes for much of the inner northwest, but heat will continue in areas such as the southern basin for quite a while, and we have also some above average heat over here in the central plains towards the Midwest region. Pretty mild heat by late week, but by the weekend, we do see an upper level ridge start to develop by the weekend, and we do have heat building in the southwest regions, which should give us temperatures well over 100 degrees in most of these areas, possibly around 100 to 110 degrees, especially in the desert areas near Phoenix, Tucson. That area could see temperatures up to 110 degrees over the weekend. Here's our extended range hazards outlook. We do have the excessive heat risk over here in the southwest from June 12th to June 16th. That is our main concern for the extended range. We also have flooding risks, heavy rain risks over here in the upper Midwest to northern plains, and also over here in the southern plains to western Arkansas. Also have some high wind risk over here in California and also western Wyoming. Here's our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, June 15th through 19th above average for much of the southwest into the central plains, as well as much of the southeastern regions. So above average for much of the CONUS expected by mid-June. Below average temperatures only expected in areas such as the Northwest and New England. Here's our 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. Above average for much of the United States, except portions of the West and also the Florida Peninsula. And finally, looking at our timing of storms for today, we have ongoing showers and thunderstorms making their way through Texas right now. And we will see a reinvigoration of that convection by 19 to 20 Z. This is around 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain Time. These storms will slowly migrate their way southeast through southeastern New Mexico and across the Rio Grande Valley, and will slowly make their way southeast and move out of the area late evening, 9 p.m. to midnight, which is when we expect these thunderstorms to completely move out of the area. It looks like right now, spatial coverage is pretty modest, but of course will grow upscale as the evening moves on. But initially, discrete thunderstorms should bring us some a good hail threat. The wind threat will continue on from the afternoon into the evening hours. So that's going to be it for today. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to watch more weather briefings in the future. And also, please leave a comment if you have any constructive criticisms. And of course, as always, if you want any specific information regarding your area, please refer to your local National Weather Service or broadcast meteorologists. Thank you and have a great day.